Boy, don't you know? Friday night.
Don't you know?
Labor Day weekend. When this gets cranked up and the heels come out of one tunnel in the baby blue, Lane Stadium will be absolutely bonkers because it will be shoulder to shoulder, jumping, hopping, skipping, raising you know what. And here the boys come through the tunnel. And with that said, coming through our tunnel for the very first time, there's the head coach, Justin Fuente. Fun with food. We're going to do it right now. Coach, first of all, it's a pleasure having you on Packer and Durham.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm having a little hard time hearing you guys. But I appreciate you having me on.
Look out.
We got to get that straightened out.
Well, we got to get that worked out. We got to get Blacksburg taken care of. How many times since the schedule was announced have you been asked about September 3rd and North Carolina in game one?
Well, I just keep thinking about finally getting the Hokie Nation back together.
Your place is not the best place to be when you've got that problem.
Our home field, our game day environment is known across the country, and we missed it last year, and it's a cool opportunity for us to all come back together on national television against a quality opponent and fellowship.
Coach, how about the fact that it's an opener? And again, if we're going to go ahead and say, guess what? The Hokies are going to win the Coastal. You know you're going to have to take care of business against teams like North Carolina, Miami, and the rest of them. But how about the importance of right out of the gate? I mean, that is a monster game. I know you're going to look big picture, and everybody talks about just the first game, but this one is more than, I think, than just a singular game. You agree with that?
I'm sorry, guys. All I can hear is your producer in my ear. I can't hear you all.
Okay. All right,
we'll get that. We'll
see if we can get that fixed.
There we go.
Hang on.
All right. That's it.
Now we got it. All right.
Now we're good. Okay.
She sounds like a very nice woman.
Oh, that's
she was coaching you all through it all. But I couldn't hear. I'm sure you guys are asking me about North Carolina Open at North Carolina.
Okay, yeah.
I kind of limped.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I limped through the first question just trying to guess at what you guys were talking about. So
okay, all right.
Fire away.
We'll rephrase the question number 2 is this. It's one thing to have an opener, but the fact that it's North Carolina and a coastal rival, I know that's grabbed everybody's attention in the offseason, but do you like the fact that right out of the gate you have a game of such importance?
I do, and we knew a couple years ago with the ACC Network coming on board that we were going to play more conference games, particularly early in the season or game one. It was kind of part of the deal. I think we all knew and accepted that. I'm excited that it's at home. That was my biggest deal. Is I just think, obviously North Carolina is a very capable opponent, but for us to have it at home, I think is a remarkable opportunity for our fans and our players. So I'm all for it. I enjoy playing big games out of the gate. I mean, would we all love to go scrimmage somebody and then play a game? Sure, but that's just not the world we're living in right now. So we're excited about it.
In essence, your football team got a lot of answers in a very difficult year last season. You got a lot of things done. I mean, I remember talking to you during the course of the season. You guys are getting ready to play Louisville, and you're still, with injuries and quarterback play and all sorts of other things. Now you're to a point where it seems like you've got a bit of a personality going into August. There's not as much discovery needing to occur. How important you think that is? How big a factor is it to come through all that chaos a year ago and now have not just the clarity of the way you're going to do it, but who you're going to do it with, I guess?
No, that's a huge part of it. I mean, just returning experienced, good players, really to create our identity in all 3 phases of the game. Certainly, every year you lose guys in those 3 phases, but we've got a large number of guys coming back that understand what we're trying to get accomplished. I feel as good as I've ever felt about the run game in terms of what we're trying to get accomplished schematically, and we made strides on the defensive side of the ball, and certainly through the spring, that was 15 practices, uninterrupted. 15 uninterrupted practices were huge for our development, and we'll need a great fall camp. But I feel much better about just the guys returning and their hunger level and their ability to understand what we're trying to get done.
Coach, I want to go on the defense a second because last year was a weird year. We talked about COVID, the pandemic, schedule. There was nothing that was consistent last year. Not to mention new defensive coordinator and everything else. I mean, it couldn't have been a worse storm as far as just trying to piece all that stuff together. You talked about making some strides and improvements on that side, but what needs to take place in 21 to get Virginia Tech football defensively back to where we expect to see you guys just wrecking opponents left and right?
Well, I mean, a lot of things compared to last year. I mean, we didn't play defense the way we should, or certainly the way we can. And there's a myriad of reasons for that. There's no reason for me to get on here and talk about it. The bottom line is it's up to us to get that fixed, and it's going to start with the run game. I mean, we've got to do a great job understanding our fits and how that whole thing, all 11, work together. And then also find a way to pressure the quarterback to get him off his spot and not let him stand back there. But I mean, the recipe to playing great defense, hasn't really changed. You don't allow people to run the football, make them one-dimensional, and that's where we've got to find ourselves this fall.
Interesting, too, because you lose a guy like Khalil Herbert, who came in and certainly gave you a lift in the run game, but you get Blackshear back. Braxton Burmeister, a lot of experience at quarterback last year, good and bad. Those are all things that he can process. Dax Holyfield on defense is as big a piece of where your success is going to be as anybody else there, Justin?
Well, I think so. I think the biggest thing for Dax is he's moving to his natural position. We've had him into the boundary because Rayshard Ashby has been at the field linebacker, the Mike linebacker for the last several years and played at a really high level. And, the advent of being able to move Dax to the true Mike linebacker and having Alan Tisdale, who's in the middle of had a really good spring and is in the middle of having a really good fall, who showed flashes at the boundary linebacker position last year, step up and really at least show flashes of being able to play at a high level in that natural position, I think is going to help both of them be better players and ultimately help our defense.
Coach, I know it's cool getting potential student athletes back on campus from a recruiting perspective because since they've been back, or folks checking you out for the first time, the renovated weight room I know you're thrilled about, and the performance center. There's a lot of cool things being built right now for football and really across the campus.
No, we've got a lot of great things going on. I've had more fun this June than I've had in a long time getting these families and these kids back on campus while simultaneously running our camps. It's been a lot of fun, and we've got a lot of stuff to show off. When you have new things that have been being built during a pandemic and nobody can come see them, you're just so anxious to show them off between our new weight room or our performance center. We've got a brand new dorm opening up on campus. It's going to be available to our student athletes. It'll be as good or better than anybody in the country. We're still building stuff. We got our players lounge that's under construction right now. They'll be ready to go by the first of the season. So it's fun to get everybody back, but it's really cool to get people back and be able to show off what you've been up to during the pandemic.
All right. Now, from time to time that you're our favorite on this show for a lot of reasons. One, Packer adores the fact, I don't say he likes it, he adores the fact that you absolutely will not tell anybody anything when it comes to a decision process like last year at quarterback.
Love it.
I mean, absolutely wishes everybody took Justin Fuente's tact when naming starters, right, Pack? Is that fair?
Yeah, and again, you're going to get mad at me saying this, Coach, but I enjoy, and disdain isn't the right word, but I live for your press conferences because you kind of remind me of Belichick a little bit in the sense that my goal is to make sure I tell you nothing, and I really respect that. I do. And I love the fact no matter what the question is, that's why I have fun with your press conferences and do a terrible impersonation of you. But that's why I love the fact that you just give me what's the next question? Yeah. Quarterback. Yeah, you want to know my quarterback? I'll tell you. My quarterback, you'll find out Saturday. How about that? You like that? I just love the fact you tell me nothing. I live for your press conferences every football season. They're my favorite.
Well, first of all, there's a lot to unpack here. I'm honored to have an impersonation. That's the first one ever, and I mean, I'm honored. I feel like we've made it now. We've reached another level in our relationship.
That's exactly right.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you recognizing the fact that I try to always tell the truth and not give any information at the same time.
Absolutely.
As opposed to lying, it's the truthful, but also nothing.
Right.
So I've always had this feeling that during the week, because I know what I do as a coach during the week, I feel like I'm talking to the other coach.
Right.
Like, what would I tell the opposing coach? Nothing. I would tell him nothing. Right. And so I know I spend my afternoons on Tuesday thumbing through the opposing coach's press conference to see if I can glean any information. So at least the other coaches probably feel the same way that you do, I guess.
I respect that. I believe me. I respect that approach 1,000,000,000%. I really do. I do. Because I'd be the same way if I was a coach. I'd do exactly the same thing.
All right, we're going to close here with this. This was out on Twitter, and I got to tell you, you're playing right to the Packer and Durham wheelhouse on this.
Oh, this is sweet right here.
You want to tell us about grilling with Foo? Because this looks like Packers kind of deal right here.
Yes, sir.
Coach.
This is it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get a belly like this overnight. Like, you have to work on that.
You work at it, yeah.
And so basically, I'm all in on that. Like, and I prefer to go low and slow. Like, whatever we can cook that takes the longest, I'm in on. But we had some recruits. We had a little picnic, and one of the recruiting guys said, "Would you mind getting on the grill and cooking some burgers and stuff?" And me, the strength coach, and I, Coach Hilgart, we jumped on there and went to work and tried to show off some skills there.
I like it. I like everything about that.
All
Coach, it's been long overdue, but we are glad to have you on the program. We look forward to seeing you next month here in Charlotte for the kickoff.
I'm looking forward to it too, guys. I appreciate you guys having me on. You guys do awesome work. I'm a huge fan, and I look forward to seeing you guys in person soon.
You got it.
All right. Justin Fuente, best to Jenny and your girls. Look forward to seeing you next month in Charlotte as part of the ACC football kickoff. And don't forget, we are the spot. Wall-to-wall coverage from Uptown Charlotte coming up next month. We start on Wednesday, July 21st with the Coastal Division. That'll feature Virginia Tech, of course, and Coach Fuente. And then the Atlantic Division is Thursday, July 22nd. You don't want to miss a minute of the ACC football kickoff right here on ACC Network and streaming live.